It's one of the greatest mysteries in American history, the disappearance of Amelia Earhart. A fearless pilot, a global icon, and a woman decades ahead of her time, who vanished without a trace. But now, decades later, this mystery is back in the headlines, and this time, the search for answers is moving at lightning speed. According to recent reports, President Donald Trump has ordered the FBI to immediately search for and release all government documents connected to Amelia Earhart's disappearance. And the question everyone's asking is, why this sudden urgency? Could there be something the government knew? Something hidden all these years? Before we dive in, if you love exploring strange disappearances, secret files, and history's biggest mysteries, make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell, and join our growing community of truth seekers. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Imagine flying halfway around the world, and then, in a matter of moments, disappearing completely. No wreckage, no distress call, no goodbye. That's the story of Amelia Earhart, or at least the part we thought we knew. Because now, with Trump's order to release these files, investigators are saying there could be evidence suggesting Amelia may have survived, and that the US government might have known all along. And at this very moment, a team of researchers is preparing for an expedition that could find her plane within weeks. The legend and the mystery. Amelia Earhart wasn't just any pilot. In 1932, she became the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. She was a global celebrity, the face of progress, courage, and female empowerment in a world still dominated by men. But on July 2nd, 1937, during her attempt to fly around the world, Earhart's plane vanished somewhere over the Pacific Ocean near Howland Island. The US Navy launched one of the largest air and sea searches in history, and found nothing. No plane, no signals, no remains, just silence. And ever since that day, the world has been obsessed with the same question. What really happened to Amelia Earhart? Theories that shocked the world. Over the years, several theories have tried to explain the mystery. The official version says her plane simply ran out of fuel and crashed into the ocean. A tragic accident, but nothing more. But then came eyewitness accounts from tiny Pacific islands. Locals who claimed they saw a woman and a man matching Earhart and her navigator, Fred Noonan, captured by Japanese soldiers. According to this theory, Earhart didn't crash. She was taken prisoner during the buildup to World War II. Some even believe she was executed, while others insist she was rescued and brought back to America under a new identity. Sounds unbelievable, right? But wait, it gets stranger. In 2017, a photo surfaced from the US National Archives that appeared to show a woman who looked just like Amelia Earhart sitting on a dock in the Marshall Islands, long after she was declared missing. The image went viral, and while some experts dismissed it as coincidence, others said it was the smoking gun that proved she didn't die at sea. The latest, a two-pronged attack on the mystery. Now, in late 2025, the mystery is heating up on two major fronts. 1. The paper trail, a high-stakes government search. In an unprecedented move, an executive request was sent to the FBI's Washington field office with a stunningly tight deadline. Agents were ordered to immediately search for all records related to Amelia Earhart and respond within a matter of hours. This action comes on the heels of the president's public promise last month to declassify and release all government records about her disappearance. So, what could these documents reveal? Some insiders claim they might include communications between the Navy and intelligence officers stationed in the Pacific in 1937, possibly indicating they knew more about Earhart's final flight than they ever admitted. Others believe the files could point to a covert operation, where Earhart's mission wasn't just about flying, but gathering intelligence during rising tensions with Japan. The physical evidence, the November 2025 expedition. While the government scours its files, a team of researchers from Purdue University and the Archaeological Legacy Institute is preparing for a 3-week expedition to the remote island of Nikumaroro, set to begin on November 4th, 2025. They are focusing on a mysterious underwater anomaly known as the Taraya object. Here's why this is so compelling. This object has been visible in aerial and satellite imagery as far back as 1938, the year after Earhart vanished. Researchers describe the evidence as very strong and believe it could be the main body and tail of her electroplane. If they are right, this expedition could provide the smoking gun proof that confirms she landed on the island and died as a castaway. So what do you think, guys? With a new government document dump and a high-stakes expedition happening right now, which do you believe will solve the mystery first? Or do you think the truth is still out of reach? Drop your theories in the comments below, and let me know if you think the Taraya object is really her plane. The evidence we can't ignore. Let's look at what we do know. In 1940, human bones were discovered on Nikumaroro Island, near where Earhart was last seen. At the time, scientists said the bones belonged to a man. But decades later, modern analysis suggested they may have actually been the remains of a tall woman, roughly Amelia's height. Coincidence? Maybe. But when paired with reports of aircraft parts found nearby, matching the model of Earhart's plane, it's hard not to wonder. And now, with the FBI's declassification order and the upcoming expedition targeting the Taraya object, we have the best chance ever to finally confirm what many have suspected for years. That Amelia Earhart's final flight was far from ordinary. Amelia's legacy. Regardless of how the truth unfolds, one thing is certain. Amelia Earhart's legacy still inspires millions around the world. She wasn't just chasing fame. She was pushing the limits of what women were told they couldn't do. It's worth noting that she was a pioneer at Purdue University, which actually helped fund her original flight. The university has stated that if the plane is found, they hope to finally bring it home to West Lafayette, fulfilling Earhart's original plan. Maybe that's why her disappearance still captivates us. Because deep down, it's not just about what happened to her. It's about what she represents. Fearlessness, curiosity, and the human drive to go beyond the edge of the map. If you've made it this far, you're clearly one of the few who care about uncovering real history, not just the sanitized version we see on TV. So smash that like button, subscribe, and consider becoming a channel member to help us keep digging into the mysteries they'd rather keep hidden. Every click helps us tell stories that matter. What happens next? As of today, we are on the brink of potential answers. Historians and journalists are waiting for the official release of the FBI's findings, while the scientific community holds its breath for the November expedition. If the government truly opens up those archives, we may finally get the missing puzzle pieces. And if the expedition is successful, it could rewrite the final chapter of Amelia Earhart's story within a matter of weeks. Whether these efforts reveal the truth or just more questions, one thing's for sure. This story is more alive now than it has been in decades. Because sometimes, history's greatest mysteries don't fade away. They just wait for the right moment to resurface. And it looks like that moment is now. Not just that.
The officer who knew too much. In 1920, Lieutenant Colonel Pete Ellis was a man of few words. Stationed near Washington, he kept to himself, often holed up in his office late into the night, a shadow among his fellow officers. When asked what he was doing, Ellis would give only a cryptic response. He was working on a special project. No one pressed further. Then came 1921 and everything changed. One day, Ellis emerged from his self-imposed isolation with an unsettling document, 30,000 words predicting a future that no one could have imagined. He spoke of the Japanese military launching attacks across Pacific islands, from Wake to Guam to the Philippines and Hawaii, and more chillingly he described an assault on Pearl Harbor, where torpedo planes would devastate the U.S. base. Torpedo planes that at the time didn't even exist. His colleagues dismissed it as impossible, but Ellis was certain it's not a question of if, he said, but when. Not long after sharing his grim forecast, Ellis requested a sudden 90-day leave, a move that raised eyebrows. Surprisingly, it was approved by the Secretary of the Navy himself. Before departing, the commandant of the Marine Corps handed him a sealed envelope. Ellis was heading to Europe, or so everyone believed. Weeks later, rumors began to surface. Pete Ellis hadn't gone to Europe at all. He had been spotted in Japan, sick and drinking heavily, a man unraveling. Within months he was dead, his body succumbing to illness in a foreign land. The Japanese, curiously tight-lipped, refused to let anyone investigate. And when one of Ellis's friends tried to seek answers, he too was found dead. The questions surrounding Ellis only grew darker. How did he foresee Pearl Harbor's attack 2 decades before it happened? Why did he end up in Japan of all places? And what pushed him to the brink from a brilliant military mind to a man lost in alcohol and secrecy? His story ends in shadows, leaving behind the same question he often evaded. What exactly did Pete Ellis know? And perhaps more hauntingly, why did it cost him his life? The Vanishing Soldier. In the chaos of World War I, a Hungarian soldier named Béla enlisted, leaving his quiet village behind for the front lines. Before departing, Kiss informed his landlord that he would be gone for some time, and soon after rumors spread that he had perished in battle. The landlord, thinking the house would never see its tenant again, went to clear it out for a new renter. What he found inside was something out of a nightmare. Barrels, seemingly ordinary at first glance, were fitted with a ghastly secret. Several preserved bodies, each one a woman who had vanished without a trace. The woman, it turned out, had been lured by Kiss, who posed as a suitor seeking marriage. Once he gained their trust and their finances, he killed them, meticulously preserving their remains in alcohol. The serene life Kiss led had masked a dark double life, a predator hidden in plain sight. As the news broke, the Hungarian authorities launched a frantic manhunt. Reports came in from all over Europe with sightings of Kiss, each one raising hope that justice might be served. But despite the efforts, Béla Kiss slipped through the cracks, vanishing as mysteriously as her victims. To this day, no one knows where he went or how many more might have fallen victim to his schemes. His legend endures as a grim reminder that even in times of war, some horrors come from within. Vietnam War Horror. One night during a tense patrol of the jungles of Vietnam, Sergeant Thomas Morrow of the 101st Airborne Division heard an eerie rustling ahead. Thinking it was the enemy, he raised his rifle, but what stepped out from the dense brush was something far stranger than any Viet Cong soldier. Standing nearly 6 feet tall, covered in reddish-orange hair, and possessing disturbingly human-like features, the creature glared at him with piercing eyes. Sergeant Morrow froze, unable to comprehend what he was seeing. Before he could react, the creature grunted and hurled rocks with surprising force and accuracy, driving him and his squad into a frantic retreat deeper into the jungle. After returning to base, Morrow discovered that his encounter was far from unique. Other soldiers in the 101st Airborne had reportedly been seeing similar creatures, known to the Vietnamese as Nguy Rung, or rock apes. These mysterious beings, with their aggressive rock-throwing and ape-like appearances, haunted the dense jungles where no apes were known to exist. But the rock apes weren't the only strange sightings in the jungle. Another soldier in the division, Private William York, reported an encounter with a massive snake. Stretching nearly 100 feet long, its head alone measuring 3 feet wide. The locals whispered of the bull eater, a creature from Vietnamese legend, but its sheer size seemed impossible. Yet York swore by what he saw. Were these strange creatures cryptids hidden away in the untouched jungles of Vietnam? Or were they the product of fear and fatigue, born from the horrors of a war that blurred the line between reality and nightmare? If these unsolved mysteries kept you on edge, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more gripping stories and deep dives into the unknown. Until next time, stay vigilant and keep exploring the unknown.